And Counter Red Eye streaking away at the front. So yeah, it means that we're not going to be able to do the undercut this time out, because the threat of rain would mean we'd have to stop twice. Oh, there's a car flipping down the track. Oh my God. What's going on, guys? My name is Batilio and welcome back to Project Cars 2 and round 8 of the WSRC GT5 Cup. And this week's round takes us across the pond because we are in, if I remember correctly, we're in Wisconsin. I think that's where it is. We're at the Road America circuit, and once again we've got another action-packed round with plenty of incidents, let's just say. And this round will once more consist of 2 races, the first being a 15-minute sprint race, and the grid order for that will be decided via a 10-minute qualifying session, and then we will have a 13-lap feature race which will feature mandatory pit stops, changeable weather, and the grid order for that will be decided from the results of the sprint race. So yeah, once again there's quite a bit to get through as we draw towards the back end of the season. So let's get everything kicked off by taking a look to see how myself and everybody else got on in qualifying for the sprint race. So on to qualifying, and this was a pretty good qualifying session for ourselves. It was a bit of a challenge though, because there's not really many circuits that we visited that are like this. Obviously, it's quite a long circuit, even in something as quick as, say, like a GT3 car. But in a GT5 car, as you can see in the timings in the top left-hand corner of the screen, 2.5 minutes to complete a lap. So when you've only got a 10-minute qualifying session, it means you've got to be on it. But at the same time, you've also got to rein it in certain sections as well, because one of the trickiest parts of this circuit is the curbing, because it's kind of high but also quite narrow. Once you get up on it, 9 times out of 10, once you get up on the curbing, you're going over the curbing, so you're sort of beaching the car almost, just straddling the curbs and going down it. And because this car, as you may have seen in previous rounds, and I've mentioned it in previous rounds, that it doesn't do well over the curbs. It doesn't like being unsettled. It doesn't like being, like, you know, 1 or 2 wheels at a higher position than the other. It's just going to really unbalance the car. Some cars can ride the curbs really well, and I did try and get rid of that sort of characteristic in setup by sort of, I thought maybe the problem was the ride height, and maybe raising the ride height, and maybe, you know, softening things up a little bit. And, you know, everything I tried, I just couldn't figure it out, and I'm still trying to figure it out as we go on. But like I said, overall, it's a really enjoyable racetrack. I've raced it a few times in various categories in you know, not only this game but also the first Project Cars game, and I really enjoyed it. That corner we just came through in particular, in a single seater with downforce, that is a thrilling corner to go through, as is this one, this fast right kink. But there are a few challenging corners on the course, and again, that sort of led into the problem of the curbing and not wanting to get over it, because as we're coming down to this corner here, just trying to find the braking zone was a bit of a challenge, and then just getting it down, and I didn't think I come down enough gears. You can see we just get up on the curbs, and once you got on those curbs, even those bigger ones, they just suck you in, and you're over the top of them, and then you're invalidating the lap. We didn't invalidate it that time. This one is still valid, thankfully. But yeah, so like I said, it was a bit of a challenge on setup, and also, like I said, you can't really go flat out around here. You've got to be a little bit careful because of how long it takes to complete a lap. You've only got, because it's like 2.5 minutes for a lap. Once you've done your out lap, you're only going to get a couple of qualifying laps, so you've got to make sure you get a valid one in the very least, just to get a banker in there. But as we come across the line, it's going to be a 232.965, which was good enough to put us in second place. So it's another front row start. Still missing that elusive pole position, but we've got a couple of rounds still to go after this one, so I'm sure we'll get it. Looking at the rest of the grid order, though, the top 10 mainly, we've got JLBW taking yet another pole position to add to his glowing collection. Then we've got Paul in third place, followed by Vectra. We've got Manx Dan, Atreus, Matt Jeffrey, Tro, Mitch, Colonel Redeye, and the driver you can't see at the bottom there is actually Nasty PJ, our title rival. So he needed a really good round, a really good qualifier to get things kicked off, because the lead between us is quite substantial, and with every round that goes away, the opportunity, slim as it may be, it dwindles further, if you get what I mean. So yeah, so second place on the grid. It's going to be a fun race. It's going to be a lot different from last week at Oschersleben, which was a very tight and very compact circuit. So we've got a bit more space to play with here. So hopefully that means we're not going to have as many accidents, because I think you could probably get, although it might lead to more accidents, because people say it's a bit wider. We can go 4 wide down here. It's just going to lead to big accidents, and you've already seen in the preview there was a fairly big accident at turn 1 in one of the races. So yeah, but yeah, we're going to get the sprint race kicked off in a moment. But before we do, let's just remind ourselves of what's going on in the point standings at the moment. And as you can see, and as we already know, I'm currently leading the championship by 90 points from Nasty PJ after round 7. Then we've got JLBW on 143 points, followed by Vectra, Atreus and Paul. Very close between those lot. And like I said, it may seem like a big gap, that 24-point gap, but when there's 50 points available in each round, it can all change. One good round, it can all change very quickly, and that's a very, very tight battle for third place at the moment. And if Nasty PJ has a couple more of those bad qualifying sessions, and you know, he doesn't have a couple of, you know, he doesn't have some good races and recover, then he could find himself getting dragged into that battle potentially. But then we've got Twisted Tire Fitter on 88, followed by Troll on 86, so very close between those two. Colonel Red Eye's also not far behind on 76. And then we've got Matt O'Keefe, who unfortunately isn't here. I think he's been having connection problems. I think we've seen in previous rounds he's been having connection problems, so I think he's kind of called quits on this season, and we'll look to try and get back in for season 5 basically. Then we've got Mitch, followed by Matt Jeffrey, again very, very close between those two. Then we've got Jumper Digital, and the final name on there is John Scott. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting race, going to be a fun one hopefully. So yeah, without further ado, let's head down to the grid and see how we all get on in the sprint race.
Let's get him off the line.
Okay then guys, here we go, front row of the grid. Terrible start again. Timing's all off, and we're down to 5th already. 6th. I don't know who else is out there, if anyone.
Keep focused, mate. You can do this. You'll make it up later.
Ooh, coming to there a bit hot. So we got it all to do. Probably only got to go for about 7 laps this one, maybe less, considering it takes over 2.5 minutes to complete a lap. Got way too hot in the braking zone there. Oh, and I'm getting bumped. Well, this has been an absolutely terrible start, and I don't think our win streak is going to continue, barring a miracle. And they're going 3 wide through here. That's probably not advisable. Someone's going to get hung out to dry. And unfortunately it was Mitch. And the front lot are just scampering away. Nasty PJ runs wide. That corner is just so difficult. it's a lot tighter. It just tightens towards the back end of it. And once you get up on that that grey curbing, it just drags you out. We might have a run on Colonel Red. Aye, whoa, dude, seriously. And now Twisted Tyre Fit Up. It's going to breeze past. Whoa, okay. So we've got Paul. And down to 7th. This is going terrible. I was really looking forward to this one as well. And that's Vectra. Oh, so the front three who had disappeared, they're now back in front of us. And we've also managed to sneak past Colonel Red Eye, who got a poor exit, but Vectra is right on our arse. Oh, delayed the gear change. I don't want to be in this position between two cars. Oh, and that's exactly why. Oh, god damn it. Why am I getting a warning for driving standards? I got bumped off. Well, we came into this race with the chance of winning the championship. And we just got taken out there. I'm not quite sure it was. I'm assuming it's Vectra who got on the inside of us. I'm not saying he did it deliberately, but what can you say? Minding my own business. I said it. As soon as I said it, I don't want to be in this position, and something happens. Well, the race engineer is asking me to probe Twisted Tyre Fit Up, so I'm going to do it in the most non-sexual way possible. I mean, I've got a glove on my hand, so maybe I can probe him that way. Give him the old airport treatment. I did sort of run him out of road there. And like I said, as bad as a round could go. I still think we can get Colonel Red Eye. Sorry, Colonel Red Eye. Twisted Tyre Fitter. He's making mistakes here and there. And he's ran a bit wide through there. And we're already straight on the back of him. So as long as we don't mess up, then we'll take this position, but we're not going to catch whoever's ahead. Nasty PJ. Well, we started second, had a terrible start, got bumped off twice, and we're going to come across the lines and finish a very disappointing 7th. Yeah, like I said, that's pretty much as bad as a round could go. Got bumped off, really annoyed about that. Like I said, I mean, I gave both of them room on either side, and just meeting the sandwich. I'll have to look at the replay, but just really disappointed, I guess, is all I can say. So yeah, what we're going to do now, though, is we're going to hand over to the other Matinho for the post-race analysis. So there we have it then, guys. 7th place and our worst finish of the season. So I guess we were due one, though, considering that we've won the last 5 races in a row. But yeah, a little bit disappointing. We started poorly. I couldn't get a rhythm in the early part of it. Just keep making mistakes, and then we got tangled up in that little accident at turn 1 with Vectra, who. I honestly, looking at the replay, I think it was maybe 6 of one, half a dozen the other, but I think it might have been a bit more my end. I think inadvertently I maybe did angle myself to the left a little bit, but again, I've looked at the other angles of the replay and it kind of looks like he's maybe just angling a little bit right, so I think we met in the middle. There's no blame or anything like that. It's a racing incident. These things happen, so it's all forgotten now, of course. But yeah, looking at the rest of the finishing order, and as we can see, JLBW follows up his pole position, yet another pole position, with a win this time. So that's his 2nd win of the season, so well done to him. Then we've got Colonel Red Eye finishing in 2nd. He managed to scurry his way through the carnage that was this race to finish in a very good P2. Then we've got Paul in 3rd place. Again, good result for him, considering he's very much in the hunt for that 3rd place finish in the standings. So good race there. That's followed up by Atri, our title rival Nasty PJ. So while he finished ahead of us, he didn't finish so far ahead that he took a massive chunk of points out, just a couple of places. So if we have a good feature race, then we may be able to claw those points back that way. Then we've got Vectra, of course, followed by myself, Twisted Tire Fitter, Tro, and Matt Jeffrey rounds out the top 10. So yeah, interesting, tricky and challenging sprint race, but the feature race is going to step it up a bit, because it's going to be 13 laps this time around. There will be mandatory pit stops, and towards the back end of the race there's going to be a bit of changeable weather as well. So throw a sprinkling of water on any track, it's going to change things just like that. So it's going to be a fun race. Let's head down to the grid now and see how myself and everybody else gets on in the feature race. Okay then, guys, here we go. Again, terrible start. I just can't figure it out, really. Either everybody's just anticipating the thing here.
Don't worry, mate. You can get those places back. Then push hard on this opening lap.
Yeah, even though everybody's just anticipating the lights. Oh, that's Nasty PJ, our title rival. And there is the threat of rain for this race. Whoa, okay. Seriously, bro. Don't even know what my lights are, so I can't flash at him. Hugely tempted to repay the favour. Want to be out there. Yeah, this is just going absolutely terribly. The only saving grace is that we're ahead of Nasty PJ. Colonel Red Eye streaking away at the front. So yeah, it means that we're not going to be able to do the undercut this time out, because the threat of rain would mean we'd have to stop twice. Oh, there's a car flipping down the track. Oh my God. Well, we've got damage on the front. Oh, for the love of God, it's just as bad as a round could go. Yeah, Colonel Red Eye is absolutely checked out. And there's Matt Jeffrey. So in one corner we've pipped our title rival and jumped up to 6th place. So again, I'm not sure how much damage he's carrying. Nasty PJ, that is. But I think he got a not a bad exit out of that corner. I don't think he's going to be side by side with us, but he is getting closer. Especially when I'm redlining 4th. No idea where he is. That's to give him room. So we're 5 seconds off Mitch. Oh, the car feels very sluggish to his left-handers. Not even going to try and defend it. I don't think this is at all advisable. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, my race license is going to take a bit of a hit through this one. And that's let Nasty PJ get a bit closer. Slow off the kink there, so I'm not going to squeeze him. I'm going to give him room. He's definitely carrying some sort of damage. Still have to break out here for that. So we're up into 5th, but we've got a podium just ahead of us. And unfortunately, I don't think an undercut's going to work for 25 seconds. So it's Twisted Tyre Fitter and Mitch who are just up the road ahead of us. Just struggling to get the car to turn in initially. And I'm so wary, especially that corner back there, because it's a big old curb, and if you get over it then it's so easy just to spin up the rears and you'll be facing in the wrong direction. Whoa, Christ almighty. Don't pull across the track, man. Are you kidding me? I've lost time already from doing that. Why have I got to lose more time? Fucking game. I think I might just take the time penalty. One second penalty. Yeah, I mean, if I'd have slowed down, I would have lost more than a second, so you might as well just take the penalty and just figure it out at the end. I'm not even going to fight him for that, because it would just lead to an accident. So we're back down to 5th. Well, we can only hope for better next week when we head to Hockenheim, but I think this one... Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Here comes the rain. No, that's not the right one. Well, we're 7 seconds back on Nasty PJ. Who is going into the pit? So yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna risk it. Not quite sure where my pit box is, because we're on manual pit stops again. So it's not this one. Assuming it's got to be this one. Right then, tyres. Oh God, there's 4 guys and 4 tyres. Just do one each. What's wrong with you? Why you do this? And we got repairs as well.
Go.
So again, the only saving grace is the fact that the guys in front were so far ahead of us. I pretty much saw the rain at pretty much the last minute. So maybe they've had boo-boos. I can already see that Paul's cut Colonel Red Eye's lead down to about 5 seconds. Right, well, as tricky as this thing was to drive in the dry, it's going to be even worse in the wet, and we've definitely got to stay off those curbs now. We can only hope that other people have problems. I think Nasty PJ's had a problem. Yeah, it didn't put wet tyres on for him, so we've got to jump him, and I think up into 3rd place actually. So yeah, we're into 3rd place. We've taken our pit stop. We've got 3 laps left to go. Sorry, 4. 10, 11, 12 and 13. Yeah, see, I thought it was a bit weird that we went in 7 seconds apart and came out 30 seconds apart. I think it will also be a very long pit stop for him, because if he has to go to the default, which I'm fairly certain will bolt new wet tyres onto his car, it'll also pretty much top him up with fuel as well, which will take a while. So here it is then, guys. This separates the men from the boys. As soon as the rain comes out, and it's going to be tight at the pit entry as well, because Colonel Red Eye, not Colonel, yeah, it is Colonel Red Eye, sorry. And we've got a back marker there as well. got to be so careful. Not necessarily careful on the power, but it's got to be careful on the turning. And especially the turn out as well. Oh, there's a puddle there. That might trip a few people up. That almost caught me out. I definitely felt that through the wheel. So the lead was about 30 seconds at the start of this lap. Let's see what it's like at the end of the lap. And that will give us a clear indication. If it's anything under 20 seconds, then we might have a chance. Yeah, I don't really have to push it. I think Paul's thinking the same thing because the gap's down to 29 seconds now. Oh shit, no, no. Oh no. Well, that wasn't pleasant. Whoa, okay, there's another one. Yeah, these puddles are getting really bad now. Whoa, there's another one, just no idea where that is. And Paul's had a bit of a boo-boo as well. But he's won the race. And then what was a very unlikely scenario, once we get past this puddle, we are going to come from what was pretty much dead last going into the first corner. We didn't really stay composed, we weren't very quick, but we made the right pit stop at the right time, and because of that we're going to come across the lines and finish in second. Yeah, terrible round, just terrible, absolutely horrific. We've got second place there, but I think we got it more on strategy rather than pace, and the first race was just an absolute clusterfuck. So yeah, disappointing that we didn't get to win the championship here. It would have been nice, but you know, it's not like it's not really touch and go. We've still got, I think we've extended our lead to maybe, it might be 94 points now, so we'll see. And we've still got drop rounds to come as well, so we'll see what happens. I'm fairly certain we haven't won the championship, but what we'll do now is we're going to confirm that, because we're going to head over to the other Matinho for the post-race analysis. So there you have it then, guys. Round 8 in the books, and like I said in the live commentary, it just a bit of an off-colour round. We got caught up in a couple of accidents in the sprint race and the feature race. We made mistakes of our own, but you know, we made the right call to come in somewhat early, I'd say, for tyres, and you know, it played out, and we managed to get a podium in the second race. So all is not lost, and it doesn't make a huge difference in terms of the gap we had for the championship. But looking at the rest of the finishing order, and as you can see, it was Paul who picked up his first win of the season, so very well done to him. He had good pace throughout the entire round, and a win is very well deserved. Then we've got ourselves in second place, followed by Mitch. Again, a very, very good drive from him. Then we've got Nasty PJ in fourth place, and it only shows one pit stop, so I'm assuming I miscalculated it, but with him going for another lap when it just started raining, maybe that's why we managed to jump him in the pit stop. So there we go. Then we've got Colonel Redeye, who had to take 3 pit stops and ended up with a DNF, so really unfortunate for him. He was followed by JLBW, again another DNF. Then we've got Atreus in 7th place, Matt Jeffrey in 8th, and Twisted Tyre Fitter rounds out the finishing order there. So yeah, quite a high attrition rate for this one, as there normally is when it comes to racing in wet conditions, but there we go. So what all that does for the standings is, after some calculations, it means we've actually managed to slightly extend our lead at the top of the standings to what is 94 points now. So okay, we're still in it, but the championship is still alive, considering there's 2 rounds left. You can get a maximum of 50 points in each round. It's still somewhat alive, but we're just about there. I think if we beat Nasty PJ into a result, then we could get it in the next round at Hockenheim. So that's a good thing. Then we've got JLBW in 2nd place there. Sorry, 3rd place on 176 points, and Paul is close right up to the back of him on 159. Then we've got Atreus in 5th, followed by Vectra. So they're still relatively close. And again, like I said, 1 round can change it all around. So just got to keep plugging away with that one. Then we've got Colonel Redeye, followed by Twisted Tyre Fitter, Tro, Matt O'Keefe, Mitch. Again, big result for him with that podium. Matt Jeffrey, and then the bottom 2, Jumper Digital and John Scott, which who have missed numerous rounds, as we know. But there we go, guys. So that was round 8. Next time out, we will be heading back across the pond to Germany and the Hockenheim circuit for round 9. It should be a fun one, and it's going to be another chance for us to wrap up the championship. So should be a good race. But yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, you would like to see more Project Cars 2 or just general racing content from myself, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. If you'd like to get involved with the guys from the Weekly Sim Racing Championships, they run various different events, mini events, weekly events like this one on PS4. So if you want to get involved with them, they're a very, very good bunch of races. There's a link to their Facebook group in the description. Tell them Matinho sent you. But again, guys, thank you everybody so much for watching. Stay cool. Apologies for the length of this video, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.